Ram 2500 mega cabs. They sort of need no introduction. They're one of the biggest things that you can actually see on the road. The Rams and the Effies, we're sort of starting to get a little bit more Silverado inquiry, but the Ram 2500, 3500, F250, F350 is what we are focusing on for the American truck space here through Pro Touring Concepts. We've sort of developed a few products along the way, and we've also worked with a few companies stateside like Carly, and also here in Australia, JMax Off-Road Solutions. We're working a lot with them on developing products for these cars as well. So anyway, I'm going to just sort of do a brief run through of the car. I'm going to focus on certain components and overlay with a few pans so you can get some cool close-ups and you don't hear me waffling on forever and ever. But anyway, I'll start with the Off-Road Creative Bull Bar. These guys are quite local to us. It's an Aussie made product. It's nice, lightweight. It's aluminium. We can fit a 17,000 pound winch up the front. There is also the trail ready option. It's a big heavy steel bar. They're made out of the States. Most Rams run the trail ready bar as it is a full hoop system. Probably a little bit better and tougher for the outback sort of style touring, hitting roos and all that. These are a nice lightweight sleek option. You can still mount spotties and winches to it, and they look fantastic. This one we haven't actually powder coated in our paint. This is straight from Off-Road Creative like that. The F truck, however, we have done in our powder, but we'll show you that one soon. Moving along the truck, we have the Carly suspension, as I just mentioned earlier. We've been working with Dan and the crew at Carly for a few years now on what exactly these trucks need here in Australia. A little bit different. We set them up. We've got a big weight on the back. We've got a big canopy and a boat and an outboard in the rear. In America, what typically tends to happen is, depending on the load that you're carrying, they move you up in truck size, right? So you've got your 1500, your 2500, 3500, 5500 and 650 and so on. In Australia, we tend to modify a car to be able to handle all different types of terrain and loads. So we need to set the coils and shocks up to be able to compromise between the two, which is quite tricky. A lot of the time, the guys over in the States don't really understand why we do that, and I suppose we don't have the luxury of just going down to a Ford dealership and buying an F250, 350, 450, whatever. We need to be able to make the truck suit a variety of uses. So it took us quite some time to get the right coil rates and shock valving to handle what we're putting on these cars. And it can still take a fair bit of fine tuning yet. We're very happy with how this one drives. We're sort of working with JMax at the moment to develop some more products. Heavy duty sway bars for the rear, the front. The light torsion sway bar in the front end of this does make it articulate a little bit nicer, but for some people who aren't going to go crazy off-road touring, we're going to make a heavy duty option for the front and the rear of the Ram 2500 and the F250 as well. So, but as it sits, this is a pin top, a Carly pin top leveling kit. So it's about a 2-inch lift, normally about a 1-inch lift in the rear. This mega cab is running air assist, so it's got airbags in the rear. It automatically adjusts the bag pressure depending on the load that's in the rear. Carly supply us with a 1-inch spacer for that bag system, and we adjust the linkages and the rods to get the right height, perfect for what we need. The bags are a great, it's a beautiful ride. It's a great product, like paired up with a properly valved shock. However, we do need heavy duty sway bars in the rear of these 2500s when they're carrying this sort of load. So we've gone with the 35-inch wheel and tyre option. It is a little bit better for what this particular customer is doing. He's towing a big van. They're setting off, they're itching to go. So it's going to be like, it's like a 9-ton package on the road. So 35s are a better option for this particular car. While we're up the front, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about performance. So same with how we do our Toyotas through Diesel Power Unlimited. Cookie and the team up there work quite closely with the team at GNL. So the DPU team have installed an EasyLink module, so it's a 5-stage tuning system, and it is obviously tuned on the dyno as well. We've also done the valve body upgrade kit for the automatic transmission. It is quite common that the 68 RFE doesn't really like big loads and big weights, especially when you're boosting more power through them. So we do need to do the valve body upgrade kit as well. So it's just something to be aware of, you guys, the Ram owners out there that are hunting for more power. The HO ACEN transmission system is a little bit different. It's more the stock standard 6.7 Cummins with the 68 RFE. We do have to sort of do like that. It's about a $6,000 automatic transmission upgrade kit to it on top of the tuning. So just something to be mindful of. But this thing has ended up with about 1,300 or 1,350 Newton meters at the treads on 35. So, and being a 5-stage adjustable module, you can either dull it right down into valet mode, or you can go right up crazy, pull the canopy off and have it on number 5 and smoke some 35s. It's pretty cool and a lot of torque behind this thing. So being the limited edition, these limiteds come standard with electric deployable side steps as well, and they don't come standard with sunroofs a lot of the time. The sunroofs are still optional in the Rams, but the side steps on the limited are normally a standard inclusion. On the Mega Cab, you do get about 300mm longer cab space, and the chassis is actually extended by that same amount as well. So don't get confused by thinking that the longer cab takes up more of your tray space. It doesn't. The chassis gets longer as well as the cab. So we can still run the same size canopy and tray on a Mega Cab as what we can on a standard extra cab. So we've also done the Rhino Pioneer platform. On this one, we've got the base, the backbone sides as well. We normally run the little steady side lights as they integrate really well into the backbone. We've also got a solar panel up on top, a rear light facing the back of the tray when the canopy's off. It's pretty standard. We normally always put a tray light. And of course, the big Norweld on the back. So with the 2500, 3500, F250, 350 Chevys, we can run a 2286 Deluxe Plus tray package with a 2200 canopy. That's the biggest we can fit on these cars. We can obviously go that same size tray and go down to a 1900 canopy or a half canopy for that matter, but you can get away with running a full-size canopy at 2200 on these cars. So much room. I'll open the doors, you can have a look. So we've got standard, this is the Deluxe canopy package. It has a drawer on the driver's side, a drawer and table on the passenger side. It has an upright fridge. We've done our standard 200 amp lithium system with red vision, red arc red vision in here, and just like it all, as most of you probably are aware, all of our systems are exactly the same. The one thing that we offer is an increase in battery capacity and solar capacity. If we increase battery capacity to a point where it's about 400 amp hours or more, we will upgrade DC charging as well. So we will obviously have your standard BMS, and then we'll pair it up with like a BCDC 40 amp as well. So we'll have a 30 and about a 40 and have about 70 amps of DC charging going in. Got to keep in mind, when you're increasing battery capacity, we also need to be able to increase how we're replenishing it. So if you're relying heavily on solar, you're going to need at least 200 to 300 watts of solar minimum, and maybe a blanket as well. So if you're going to plan on sitting somewhere for a week, you're going to need at least 200 watts of static solar and an additional 200 watt blanket that you can throw out and have in the sun all the time. So we've gone with the twin 35 spares on the back of this one and the Almac loader. This customer found a second-hand Enlightened boat that we've chucked on top as well. You guys might know this, but we do obviously have to custom fabricate all of our brackets in-house to suit what we're doing. So this particular awning with that boat loader, with that boat, is different to the last customer. So all of our stuff is in-house. We fabricate it in-house. We paint it in-house to suit. It's something a little bit unique about what we do. We do offer, obviously, we want everything to work perfectly and be super strong and reliable and safe. So that's where we don't just use whatever product or the brand is supplied with us. We make it in-house to suit. As I was saying, 2200 long canopy. You've got so space at the back here. You've got so much real estate either side. Even if you weren't running an outboard slide in here as well, you could almost sleep in the back here. But yeah, upright fridge. This is our little table drawer package from Norweld. Travel buddy up top. It looks so freaking cool. And of course, this canopy can come off and you can utilize it as just a dual cab utility as well. So a big thing a lot of you guys are probably wondering is how much does this thing weigh? At the moment, this sitting here right now with the boat on it is about 4.5 tonnes. So this was originally registered as an NB1 car. Since doing all of our mods, we can increase this to an NB2. We can pump this up to 5,300, and is exactly what we've done with this particular ramp. So it's running a GVM of 5,300. It is now essentially a light truck. Most of these larger American car builds need to be running an NB2. There's just simply not enough payload. If you've got a large van, 20 to 23 foot worth, and you've got about 400 kilos of ball weight to go on the back of that, plus everything else you want to put in the canopy, you're easily going to be running around 5 to 5.5 tonne. Every day, and the more you guys travel, the more you tend to accumulate more shit and goes in the back of the canopy. So a lot of you guys out there already touring with your American cars will know this, but you're normally quite commonly sitting well above 5 tonne for these cars. So that's what this thing comes in at. We obviously have engineers and guys aligned with our business to help us get these things increased right to the maximum of what your front and your rear axle load can handle legally and safely, and exactly how they come into out of the States. So anyway, guys, any questions about this Ram build, yeah, please drop a comment, send us an email. You can call us. We've got quite a few new Ram and F-Truck builds coming through the pipe. Like anything, we keep developing with the cars, and the more we do, the better we get at them, the more feedback we get from you guys about things that you want us to see or want us to do for you. Let us know.